Now we look into the GIS data quality. In this chapter, we will discuss about how important is the quality of the GIS data and how we can ensure the quality of the data itself. So when we say about using the GIS technology to support decisions, okay, has especially for different applications, has created varying structures of the spatial data, where this application also dictates the content of the non-spatial data. Okay? So non-spatial data is basically about the attributes, the data attributes. What's information that you want to put inside the spatial data. So two other factors which influence the validity of the decisions being derived from the GIS technology is the level of the spatial accuracy. It could be appropriate or not. Take an example. During this COVID-19 pandemic, by using the GIS to determine the locality of those person under quarantine using this the smart track, there's there's what we call this smart tech by this our government. Okay, so do we really need the data must be accurate, the locality of the person under quarantine? If yes, how we want to ensure the data will be accurate, how we want to derive, how we want to transmit it into the system. So this will be a discussion, or this could be a debate on how accurate the data, how we want to locate this person. Okay, and is the spatial and non-spatial data will be the most current. So during our COVID-19 pandemic, so we can see that how GIS has been used to give the updates on the numbers of the positive cases all over the region, in Malaysia, in Indonesia, and more. So the data is the current one. Okay, we don't want to have data that is about 10 days, 20 days ago. We want to have an exact update data by certain time. So this is the concern of different applications. This you have to think about those two things, the accuracy level or the spatial and non-spatial data currency, the current of the current availability of the spatial and non-spatial data. So the required accuracy of the underlying spatial data depends on the application. For example, zip code areas could provide sufficient spatial accuracy with the non-spatial demographic data to plan the location of a new fast food restaurant. And for this kind of application of examples, 100 meters differences is unlikely to affect the decision. The same goes with the election data. Okay, the accuracy doesn't really mean so much, but if you talk about the crime, it's very important. We talk about the pandemic is very important. We talk about this drug. It's very important to have this accuracy of the data. To ensure the valid decisions, the underlying GIS data must be both current and appropriately accurate. But we have to tolerate in certain way based on our applications. So the process to ensure the data is current is referred to as the update, and to improve the accuracy of existing data is called the upgrade process. Many GIS datasets exist and are readily accessible. However, they are far from being universally usable because the accuracy and currency of the data is only suitable for the original intended application. So we do have a lot of data actually in GIS that being provided by the government, but most of the data is only being created based on the application or based on the project basis. After the project has been done, there's no effort to update the data, therefore the data might be not usable now, right? And of the subset of applications that require the equivalent level of accuracy or less. Worse, the accuracy and currency of the existing spatial data sets often not known, and thus the risk of incorrect decisions being formed exists. So consequently, the process to upgrade the accuracies and rapid updating data is a major topic to improve the wider use of the GIS data. I would say that not many people will have the consistency and those istiqomah thing to upgrade the accuracies and to update the GIS data. and both spatial quality and non-spatial component of GIS data represents an equally important issue as well. So, when we talk about the quality, we do want to have a cost benefit or higher quality. There will be much important issues to be discussed. And increasing the quality of GIS data increase the cost of data collection, of course. Right. Example here, if centimeter spatial accuracy is required, instruments or systems with survey accuracy operated by the personnel with pertinent procedure expertise must be used. Therefore, it will incur costs. So the potential wider use of the GIS data is certainly a benefit only if the spatial and non-spatial data is still current by the time it's being reused. If the data is about 10 years ago, why you want to use it? So it's very important to have the data is updated, but how update is update? That's another question. So determine a suitable compromise between the cost and quality is one of the main decisions for the GIS project management. Although high accuracy data collection is costly, it may deliver a significant saving if those data can be widely used in a various applications. Due to the fact that the data of the GIS can be used across the applications based on the suitability, therefore it will reduce the cost for the data acquisition as we discussed in the previous chapters. The cost of duplication is avoided even though the zoning decisions do not need the high accuracy cadastre data. As mentioned, centimeter accuracy data requires different data collection procedures, and sets for the different types of measurement instruments. Integration of the high accuracy data into existing GIS data structures require special technical considerations. So we talk about the accurate data collections. The collecting data accuracy data in the field requires a total station or the dual frequency GPS system, which is very expensive and also have a specific expertise to operate it. But innovation in these field systems has improved the speed with coordinate data can be collected. Okay, so nowadays there's a lot of new technologies. However, it's still expensive. Such into taking to example, by using the drone, we reducing the cost to acquire aerial photography. However, you must have the proper accurate person to do it, the right person to do it, the right hardware to do it, and the right steps to do the processing. Therefore, it still incur the cost and time as well. And these type of innovations contribute to lower the cost per point of collecting high accuracy spatial informations and improve data structures that define spatial relationships between coordinates during the field procedures, and attribute formations makes total stations and dual frequency fairly high accuracy GIS data collectors. But nowadays we do have Android systems with dual frequency GPS where it can update to the cloud system, which will give you a much better data collection instruments. Of course, when we talk about the GIS data, we cannot avoid to use some security data. So security data, there are a lot of data available. Therefore, in order before you started to do the project, always check for the existing data before creating it. There's a lot of several groups of data exist, such as free data from the government, example MyGDI infrastructure, government data available, internet map servers, commercial data, and data from other GIS users. So I hope that you can understand about the importance of the data quality in GIS, and thank you very much.